I am Zayd Haji, your host and author, research student, management consultant, and counselor. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that most people are too afraid to confront: the harsh realities of life, exploitation in workplaces, and how our minds are subtly manipulated by the systems around us. This episode isn't about generic motivation, it's about understanding, awareness, and strategy, all through a lens that combines real-world psychology with timeless theological wisdom. Stay with me because what you're about to hear may change the way you see your life, your choices, and your purpose. I want to start today by confronting a truth we all feel but rarely admit. Look around. Your classmates are buying cars, moving into their own homes, landing promotions that make them seem untouchable. And here you are, working, struggling, grinding, giving everything you have, and yet feeling miles behind. That ache of comparison, the quiet voice telling you that life is passing you by, isn't just personal, it's systemic. It's real. And to survive it, you first need to understand why this is happening and how others are manipulating your perception, your choices, and even your effort. Take Priyanka. She's a pre-sales manager, been grinding in the real estate industry for 5 years, pouring 100% of herself into selling flats for a company that, on paper, seems like a success story. But here's the hidden reality. This company is drowning in debt, crores of debt. Investors are losing, employees are being treated as expendable cogs. Her team leader, Dara, leads pathetically, creating constant stress for employees. Ayush, Neil Mantashaya, Priyanka, each of them is running after deals, chasing unattainable numbers, while management openly reminds them that every single employee is replaceable. Their lives are dictated by an absurdly unrealistic system that demands 9 to 9, Tuesday to Sunday, with only Mondays off. And the pressure? If even a single flat worth 4.5 crore rupees doesn't sell, the team is roasted like Sikh kebabs. This isn't just hard work. This is systemic exploitation. Let's pause here and examine what's really happening. The employees, Priyanka, Ayush, Nilesh, Mantasha, Ayan, are playing by rules set by someone else. They are trying to win a game where the rules are intentionally stacked against them. And the worst part, many don't even realize it, they are trapped in the illusion that effort alone equals success. Meanwhile, the company, a well-known Indian real estate brand, uses hype and scarcity to manipulate demand. Flats priced at rupees 55,000 per SQFT in areas where the real market value is rupees 28,000. The middle-level employees are chasing deals created by an artificial bubble. Investors' money is being burned, and the employees' lives are being sacrificed for a facade of growth. Let me make it even more concrete. Here are some cold, hard numbers. Market cap of rupees 25,483 CR. Debt of rupees 65,577 CR. Book value of rupees 1,202. Profit growth of 28,173%. Compounded profit growth wildly fluctuating. ROE down to 2% last year. And the company has been burning through cash reserves over the last 5 years. Look at these numbers closely. They are not just financial stats, they tell a story of manipulation, illusion, and exploitation. Investors are losing, employees are being overworked, and the market is being artificially inflated. Yet society applauds these success stories because the superficial metrics look shiny. And here is where the psychology kicks in. Think like a manipulative genius. Business owners, corporate leaders, even real estate tycoons, they are constantly reading minds, controlling perceptions, and creating narratives that serve them. They know how to frame problems, how to make you feel inadequate, how to push you into their game. They understand that people rarely think critically under pressure. Priyanka, Ayush, Nilesh, Mantasha, Ayan, they are all responding to incentives, fear, and stress rather than strategy. They are caught in a trap because the game is designed to manipulate their minds. Consider the framing trick. Remember the death tax example from the US. A simple word change created massive emotional reaction, convincing people they were under threat when they weren't. This is happening in real estate, in corporate offices, in student life. Words, metrics, targets, growth percentages, all are framed to create urgency, fear, and pressure. When Dara tells her team, "You are replaceable," that's not just a threat. That's manipulation. That's controlling the conversation in her favor, making employees doubt themselves, work harder, and ultimately reinforce the exploitative system. Now, let's move to a painful but necessary insight: incentives. Everything in life, from workplace behavior to student performance, responds to incentives more than logic or fairness. The real estate employees are performing under brutal misaligned incentives. If a flat doesn't sell, their pressure increases. Yet the structure ensures the rewards are concentrated at the top. This is not meritocracy, it's manipulation. The stronger the employee, the more they are exploited. The system is designed so the higher you perform, the more pressure is put on you. Look at Ayush, Nilesh, Priyanka. They are running, chasing impossible numbers, while the management enjoys the illusion of performance without accountability. And it's not limited to one office. This is the reality of many industries: education, finance, corporate, sales. Middle-level participants are constantly manipulated because they are thinking strategically about the system they are in. They are focusing on immediate results, not long-term survival or leverage. They are failing to read the mind of the manipulator. This is why the think like a manipulative genius principle is crucial. Understanding how others manipulate perception, incentives, and conversation gives you the advantage that the majority of participants never achieve. Let's also talk about backward thinking or inversion. Imagine the end goal first: freedom, security, skill mastery, then map backwards. Most employees, most students never do this. Priyanka spends years selling flats with zero strategic leverage. Ayush and Nilesh grind for meaningless targets. Natasha and Ayan burn themselves in the system, while the top management collects profits and manipulates perception. Reverse engineering your life, mapping out where you want to be, the skills you need, and the traps to avoid, is the only way to survive systemic exploitation. Now let's address the painful comparison trap. Everyone is earning. Everyone is moving ahead. I am left behind. You feel like life is unfair. But here's the insight: most of that success you see is curated or superficial. Your classmates' achievements, their cars, their homes, how many of those are built on their mind reading the system versus blind adherence to societal metrics? Understanding manipulation allows you to filter reality. Priyanka's reality is a mirror. She works harder than most, yet her financial freedom is stifled by a system that benefits the top while exploiting the bottom. This is exactly what many students experience with competitive exams, internships, and networking metrics. They chase illusions. Let's also talk mental fatigue. Working 9 to 9, facing impossible targets, and social comparison is draining. Motivation alone will fail here. You need psychological armor, routines, critical thinking, and the ability to read manipulation. Ask yourself, whose incentives am I serving? Is this effort truly creating value for me, or am I reinforcing someone else's leverage over my life? Ayush, Nilesh, Priyanka, Natasha, and Ayan, they are all trapped because they are playing the manipulator's game unknowingly. Your mind is your only safeguard. Learn to read others, understand incentives, and design personal systems that work for you. Now, consider the market manipulation angle. The company inflates prices from rupees 28,000 to rupees 55,000 per SKU, artificially creating scarcity, hype, and urgency. Employees chase deals that may never materialize, investors lose money, and the top management profits. This is not luck. This is applied psychology, controlling perception, framing problems, exploiting desire, and creating fear. Reading this, you may think, how do I avoid this trap? The answer is simple: awareness plus action. Understand the system, map incentives, question the narrative, reverse engineer outcomes. Let's take one more step deeper. Employees are not just victims. They are complicit in the system because they fail to think strategically. They accept the narrative, the pressure, the burn, believing effort equals reward. That's where the genius of manipulation lies. It's not only about exploiting someone else, It's about ensuring they participate willingly. Dara, the team leader, doesn't need to coerce Priyanka to work harder. The system and framing ensure she does it herself. This is the power of mind control, persuasion, and manipulation. And it is everywhere. For students, young professionals, or early entrepreneurs, the takeaway is clear. The world doesn't reward effort alone. It rewards perception management, strategy, and mind reading. You must learn to see incentives, anticipate manipulation, and design your personal ecosystem where your work compounds for you, not for someone else's illusion of success. Practice reading the conversation, reading the market, and reading the people around you. Think like the manipulator, but use it to free yourself, not trap others. Finally, let's make this actionable. Start by auditing your environment. Identify your Dara, the people who manipulate, the systems that exploit, the incentives that misalign your effort. Map them. Then create your escape plan, your skills, your networks, your personal growth areas, your freedom points. Use backward thinking to design the life you want. Avoid the traps that caught Priyanka, Ayush, Nilesh, Mantasha, and Ayan. And remember, the world is rigged, but awareness, strategy, and psychological insight are your tools to win. So the real lesson today is not motivation. It's clarity, insight, and survival. Stop chasing illusions. Recognize manipulation. Read the minds around you. Question the narrative. Align your incentives. Protect your energy. And above all, design your life where you are no longer a pawn in someone else's game, but a strategist shaping your own reality. You and I live in a world designed to test not just our effort, but our clarity, our values, and our integrity. I have watched people like Priyanka, Ayush, Nilesh, Mantasha, and Ayan give everything to systems that exploit them. I know the ache of feeling left behind while others appear to rise effortlessly. But you and I must remember, Allah does not judge us by someone else's narrative or society's illusions. Our accountability is personal, and our success is measured by sincerity, patience, and strategic action guided by the principles of Islam. The Quran reminds us, and whoever relies upon Allah, then He is sufficient for him. Quran Surah At-Talaq, chapter 65, verse 3. You and I must internalize this. When the world pressures us to compete unfairly, manipulate us to serve others' interests, or distort our perception of reality, reliance on Allah becomes our shield. It is not weakness to step back from a system designed to exploit you. It is wisdom. We are also reminded, O you who have believed, fear Allah and speak words of appropriate justice. Quran, Surah Al-Azab, chapter 33 and verse 70. This speaks directly to how you and I communicate, think, and navigate manipulation. We cannot let fear, hype, or the invisible pressures of society dictate our words, our effort, or our mind. Whether in workplace deals or student competitions, speaking and acting with integrity aligns us with Allah's guidance, even when everyone else is trapped in a cycle of exploitation. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "The strong believer is better and more beloved to Allah than the weak believer, while there is good in both." Tazalum 2664. Strength here is not just physical or career success, it is mental, emotional, and spiritual. Strength is seeing the manipulation around you, understanding the incentives and traps, and making choices that honor both your worldly life and your accountability to Allah. You and I can choose not to be pawns in someone else's game. We can be strategists of our own life, guided by tawakkul, trust in Allah, shukar, gratitude, and ihsan, excellence in all actions. And remember the timeless teaching. Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. Quran Surah Ar-Rad, chapter 13, verse 11. You and I hold the power to change our own trajectory. No deceptive company hype, no unfair comparison with peers, and no social illusion can dictate your life if you align your effort with knowledge, ethical strategy, and faith. The world may manipulate numbers, markets, and minds, but Allah manipulates nothing but the heart of those who sincerely seek Him. So I challenge you, look at your life, identify where you have been unconsciously manipulated, and take back your agency. Ground your strategy in knowledge, think critically, act ethically, and rely on Allah's guidance. When you do this, you are not just surviving the system, you are mastering your mind, your life, and your destiny. Thank you for joining me. I am Zayd Haji on this episode of the IGC Gate Podcast. Today, we confronted the harsh truths of life, manipulation, and systemic exploitation, and explored how you and I can navigate these realities with strategy, awareness, and theological guidance. Remember, true strength is not in competing blindly with the world. It's in understanding the system, mastering your mind, and relying on Allah. Until next time, stay aware, stay ethical, and stay aligned with your purpose.